Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss what are the defenses available against a committed tort. In almost every tort case, wrongdoer is liable for the damages. However, there are certain cases in which the defendants have valid points to defend themselves. So in this video I will discuss all those points that guard the defendants. So in a given situation, some act of tort is said to be justified or excused. These conditions which excuse or justify an act of tort which would otherwise have been a tort normally categorized as category of defense in tort. A specific defense. The case in which wrongful act excuses or justifies some specific tort, as for example a truthful and fair comment, especially when asked by the authority or by the law itself, is a defense against the tort of defamation. Secondly, general defense. General defenses are available for all and equally applicable throughout the concerned territory. It is known as general exceptions, as it is available for all without any discriminations. Now check out what are the general exceptions. Following are the important general exceptions: consent, when plaintiff himself is the wrongdoer, inevitable accident, necessity, private defense, act of God, and a state or a statutory authority. Let's discuss them in brief. Consent. Consent normally occurs when a plaintiff shows his willingness to participate in the defendant's conduct, which may be expressed or implied. Take the example of a sports stadium. Suppose you went to watch a cricket match and a batsman hits six that injures you. In such a case, you cannot claim against your injury because while buying the ticket, you agreed or consented to suffer such risk or damage. Next, when plaintiff is the wrongdoer. This defense is appropriately explained by the Latin maxim that is ex turpi causa non uritur action. It means no action arises from an immoral cause. So, when plaintiff himself at fault in such a condition, he cannot claim for the damages and it is a valid defense in torts. So, when plaintiff himself at fault in such a condition, he cannot claim for the damages and it is a valid defense in torts. Next, inevitable accident. The accident which cannot be avoided by using all the due care and skills. It means if an act is performed lawfully with due care, however, damage occurs by some unavoidable reason, such damage has no cause of action, it is a defense. Necessity. Necessity is best explained by the Latin maxim that is salus populi suprema lex. It means the welfare of the people is the supreme law. Hence, if an intentional damage is done for the greater degree of good of the people or avoid greater harm, in such a case, the comparatively smaller damage is usually excused. For example, if a person without owner's permission breaks the door of the house in order to save a child, then he can be excused of his tort, that is, breaking the door without permission, as he did to save someone's life. So, necessity gives privilege and can be excused. Next, private defense. The law provides the right to defense, known as private defense, to every individual. So every individual has the right to protect his or her life and property, and while exercising his or her private defense, he or she may use any amount of force as required in a given situation. Further, this right doesn't limit to protect only one's life and property, but rather extended to protect all other family members as well as all other people and their property in general. The tort law recognizes the private defense and doesn't count it as a tortious liability. Next, Act of God. Act of God, also known as vis measure or force majeure, is the circumstances which human being can neither anticipate nor can take a possible step to stop such act, as it is beyond the human prudence. Such natural calamities do not impose any obligation or liability of paying the damages to the victim. For example, earthquake, cyclone, flood, etc. Last but not the least, a state or a statutory authority. Sometimes the state or the statutory authority delegates or authorizes its employees to damage the private property or do such kind of activity which is good for society at large. In such a case, a statutory authority provides compensation as well, as for example, construction of rail, road, etc. However, such power conferred by the authority must be exercised with a proper order of the competent court, and with due care, caution, so that no unnecessary damage is done. Furthermore, the authorized person must do so with good faith and essentially not exceed the powers that is granted to him, or else he will be liable. Keep watching my videos to know more about the tort law.